Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Saturday the 31st, also known as Halloween. Today was a beautiful, stunning day. We had a tiny little bit of drizzle and rain late in the evening after 9, so the trick-or-treating was all done and over with there. Worked out flawlessly, absolutely beautiful, beautiful day. So got this morning, basically came out here, hopped in the tub. I'm up early every morning. Got a few things done. I was up kind of extra early today. We had a labradoodle that was sitting stuff, and it's just he makes noise, wakes up early. So we got up, came outside in order to let Karen sleep in more. We just hung outside here for a while. Like I said, soaked in the tub. Went back inside, hung out a little bit, trying to keep the dogs quiet and chilled out. Went in, jumped on the computer to update my podcast and stuff, my phone, grabbed a bowl of cereal, and it was about 3 hours almost after Karen got up, which, hey, sleep in, I'm all for it. You know, we had a really late night. Thursday night was up to like 3 in the morning, Friday morning, so she definitely had to catch up on that sleep. So went ahead, from there we kind of hung around the house a little bit here. She got around a little bit, decided to go out and take the motorcycle for a little ride, and most of the time we kind of use the excuse of yard sailing. We're just driving around the motorcycle around town, not jumping on the highway, no helmets, just riding around here in town. Might run up New Smyrna a little bit, and that's it. No, nothing above 35 mile an hour. So hit a few yard sales, nothing spectacular. There's one yard sale that had two of those giant oversized folding camping chairs. They're like more laid back, like real like lazy kind of laid back chairs. They had a little table built into them, and they went like $40 a pair, and they were for the 400-pound capacity. Those great big oversized chairs, and I probably should have bought them, but I was on the bike and they're both kind of bulky, and I had the straps. I could have strapped them on, but I was like, I don't really need them per se, and they were kind of comfortable, but not super comfortable. But if I ever have, a gathering or I have some large friends over, it'd be nice to have, chairs that would be designed to handle them in the process. So skip those, should have bought them. I should have, but it is what it is. So went ahead from there, ran around a couple of places while driving around looking for yard sale signs. Spotted a sign on one of the roads here. It looked like a real estate sign, which nowadays is so hard to tell because everything is all, there's so many like politics signs out. You can't tell what's a yard sale, what's a house for sale, or what's a politics sign. So I'm really looking for this election being over so we can get back to actually knowing what are yard sales and house signs. So I went ahead, did a little quick U-turn, headed back down, looked at the house. Turns out, ironically, it's actually a house that one of Karen's son's best friends lived in through high school and stuff. So they basically, she looked it up, and it has a open house for Sunday. She thought it was today from 1 to 3. Turns out, luckily, it was for tomorrow 1 to 3 because we had dogs coming, and our time frame kind of got screwed up with where we're at on that. So went ahead, basically hung out with the dogs and stuff, had a good time. Took the dogs out for a run. Went ahead, actually, it's finished stuff. It's funny. We had 2 more dogs show up. We have basically this dog right here, that labradoodle. Well, he just walked away. Of course, when I tried to show him on camera, but had the labradoodle here. Like I said, he spent the night. We had 2 more dogs coming. We had a pointer lab mix and then a pit bull coming, and they were super cool dogs. There's and stuff, blah blah. I get here, I put the other dogs out back, let the dogs have time to get settled in. The owners, he used to have Danes, or had a Dane. I'm not sure if he had multiple or just the one. Wanted to see Bruce. We left his dogs inside so we didn't have to worry about the whole introducing the dogs with the owners here. Sometimes can go differently. So I went ahead, we came outside, chatted a little bit. Funny people and stuff. We had a great laugh. He had his hat on backwards from when he was fishing and stuck a new hat on top of it, and she never told him he was wearing 2 hats. So I told him, I said, when he realized what he was doing, I'm like, I thought you were some kind of weird hipster dude trying to be like all cool, man, like trying to protect your your hair and your the sunshade at the same time. We kind of laughed about it. So had a good time there. They took off, introduced the dogs. Dogs got along great. Everything was wonderful. Decided to go for my run, which I told Karen, hey, why don't you? She went ahead and went for a walk first, and then that way the dogs weren't left alone because they hadn't been here that long. And ironically, the labradoodle is the aggressive one of this bunch. He's been stirring shit and trying to fight the pit mostly, but even the pointer lab mix, he's been trying to fight him as well. And he's the one that's being super aggressive. And like even the one point they kind of got into it, and I hollered at him to knock it off. And immediately, as I scolded the doodle, and he's like down, like, okay, sorry and stuff, the pit comes over and like starts trying to like kiss him, like, hey, well, it's all right, we're just be friends. And then he growls at him again. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? I'm like, what is wrong with you? You're supposed to be the cool dog. Like, you're a Labradoodle. You're supposed to be super laid back and smart and all this stuff. And the pit's supposed to be the killing machine. And this pit is nothing more than to cuddle and love on you, and you'll have nothing of it. So dumb as all get out. The pit like just cuddles up in your, and they'll actually chew in your ears. I'm like, no, we don't do that shit. I don't do dogs that lick my face or my hand, lick my body at all. But I definitely don't do ones that nibble on my ear like we're dating. Not gonna happen. But oh my god, she is such a sweet little pit. She is so great. So we hung out, had a great time. Karen got back from her walk. She watched the dogs. I took Bruce with me, just kind of get a little bit of like alone time, kind of get, a dog and owner date kind of thing, I guess, like you would do with your daughter if you have too many people around and your house is getting overwhelmed. Mostly because that Labradoodle just wears his ass out. That Labradoodle is such a pain in the butt. Literally, Bruce gets so annoyed. Bruce will bark and you like to put him down, like knock it off, get away from me, kind of thing. Like, you got to leave me alone. So we went out for the our run. Had a great little run, nothing major. It was a little warm, so we didn't go real far. Got back here. The other two dogs, the pit and the lab mix, were just playing their ass off. They're great friends. They bond up real well. So hung out for a little while. Went ahead, hopped in the shower. We were going to do Chinese or pizza. I told Karen to pick one. She picked pizza. And we ended up going to Alberto's over here. She called it in. Ordered a deluxe or something. I don't know how it was. Ordered the largest deluxe. It said it'd be like, it was going to be 35 minutes, whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I went ahead, basically kept chatting, we kept talking, just hanging a little bit. I wanted to move the car over because Halloween trick-or-treaters come and stuff, and it was kind of, Karen parks a little too far to the north in the driveway, so it's hard to walk around, so you kind of walk in the south side, which is fine because she gets out on the south side, so it makes sense. But with all the kids walking up, I thought, hey, if I move the car way to the south side of the drive, off the drive actually a little bit, over the truck, they'd have, 4 feet, 5 feet of space to walk up the drive, no problems, no concerns. So I basically, since I was going to get pizza, I didn't move the car after my run. Went ahead. It was time to go get the pizza. Showed up there. You're all waiting outside the drive-through, the pull-up window or walk-up window, I guess, takeout order. Went ahead, walked in your stuff, and I got there. I was already, even after getting to the full line, I was still there right like 1 minute till 6. And the lady's like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. She goes, your pizza's the next one out of the oven. Now, key word here is out of the oven. That makes me think it's made. It's in the oven. It's all good to go. Fine, no big deal. So I guess apparently I stepped back out of line, everybody else is walking up, and the staff there are not real, like, they don't understand how lines work, I guess. Like, they'll have somebody walk up, they'll tell them what it is. I'm like, okay, it'll be a couple minutes, we gotta finish cutting it, blah, blah. And the person stands at the damn window. Or everybody else stands behind, like, well, maybe my shit's done. How about you move over so I can see if my shit's done or not? So I step off the side, and I'm watching this line just keep getting more and more frustrated. Everybody's getting upset. They don't have to be out there, like, telling them, or even a little sign saying, hey, the line starts here. And nobody's telling them in line, hey, I was already in line before you. So people are lining up from, like, 3 different spots they're lining up from the east and the west and the north. They're all lining up. It's ridiculous how this line's going. So I'm just hanging back, and I'm like, okay, what the hell? And as soon as I'm watching other stuff come out, I'm like, okay, it shouldn't take that long. So I wait a while, and next thing I know, it's like this giant lines, and I feel like a jerk for cutting back in line going, hey, where's my pizza? But I'm like, they'll holler at me, and they haven't said nothing and stuff. And I also think, well, maybe the staff now by this point is really like, they're not like, they're so busy answering somebody's question, they're not sticking their head out past the window and saying, hey, your pizza's done. So I'm standing over, they can see me, I'm trying everything I can and stuff, blah, blah. Also trying to stay away from people because it's COVID. I'm trying to stay back from people. And I finally get back in the window, and I'm like, hey, where's my pizza? She goes, oh, it's going to be just a few more minutes and stuff. So you told me this next one in the oven before. So I'm like, okay. She goes, yeah, it's almost in there stuff. It's marked or whatever and blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I step back, and I'm like, whatever. 20 minutes goes by. I'm out there for 20 minutes. I finally get back. I'm like, hey, what the hell's the deal? Like, I've been here. I ordered pizza 50 minutes ago. You said it'd be actually 55 minutes ago. So it'd be 35 minutes. I show up here before the time. You said I'm the next one out. There's been 3 other pizza boxes coming out, not counting the dozens of other crap that have come out of here. And she's like, oh, I don't know, let me check. And she's like, well, I'm like, where's my pizza? And she goes, oh, it got skipped. I'm like, what? She goes, well, I got skipped. I'm like, well, where's my, what the hell? I'm like, it's 20 minutes. I need my pizza. And I really wanted right then to say, piss on it, walk away. But I paid cash. It's that whole thing of, I can't just call and, cancel my credit card or where I can't, blah, blah. I'm like, screw it. I'm like, what the hell? And she goes, we need 8 minutes. It'll be ready in 8 minutes. So I'm like, okay. So I step back out of the line. I wait 8 minutes. I basically now back in line, so I go back up there and stuff. It's been over 8 minutes now at this point. So by the way, it's been 30 minutes now by this point. So I get there and stuff when I first got there, and it's been an hour plus since I ordered my damn pizza, which again, they hadn't even started my pizza when I showed up. But I'm sitting there and stuff, and I get back to the window, and she goes, I said, hey, where's the pizza and stuff? What the hell, tell my name stuff. She's like, well, it got marked. I'm like, I don't care what happened. I just, like, what the hell, when she goes, oh, it's got about 4 more minutes. I'm like, how did it go from being ready at this time to now it's got 8 minutes, and now it's got 4 minutes? Like, what the hell? I realized 8 minutes knows how long it's in the oven for. They hadn't even made my pizza when she told me 8 minutes. So she should have said 15, which then when I walk back up, it's better for you to tell me a little longer. And when I walk up, you hand me the pizza, or you holler at me and say, hey, your pizza's ready, as opposed to me having to keep coming to this window. So I just said, hold it. Literally every time somebody else would get in line, I would step up. I'm like, hey, I just put my head back in. Every time somebody step away from the window, I just poke my head there going, hey, where's my pizza? Hey, where's my pizza? And here's my pizza and stuff. And I'm like, so why is this taking so long? Took another almost 10 full minutes. It was 9 minutes after the second time. They told me 8 minutes. They told me 4 minutes. It was 9 more minutes. And I'm like, so I've been out here for 41 minutes at this point. They finally bring my pizza. This is going to be like these knots or something. I'm like, I don't know what the hell your knots are. So apparently somebody else said they're like garlic knots and whatever and stuff. And I was like, what the hell? It's fine, hand my pizza. And I'm like, so that's it? Like, not a sorry, not nothing? Like, I got, someone was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I just got, I'm like, what the hell? So I had to not tell her the whole story. And she's like, well, can you give me a minute? I'm like, I'd really rather not. She goes, well, I said something about knots. And she goes, oh yeah, we got to make those for you and stuff. I'm like, I am not waiting another minute for some crap I don't want, you know? And she's like, oh, no, they're right here, and blah, blah, blah. So they hand me this bag of whatever, I don't know, it's like a Walmart sack tied shut with crap in it in a styrofoam container. So I'm like, whatever. So I finally was like, to hell with this crap. I'm like, I get the hell out of here. So I put the stuff in the trunk. I head home. My dog's in the car, but window. Beautiful night. Gorgeous temperature. I'm standing around out here for 40, at this point now, 50 minutes. I'm standing outside because the whole thing, it was ridiculous how long this thing whole took. And I get in the car, I throw it in the trunk. Dog's in the car. Windows are down. It's gorgeous temperature. No worries. He's in the shade. It's all fine. So we head home. And basically, as we pull in their stuff, I get down my road. And now it's trick-or-treat time. I should have been already done eating by now. All the trick-or-treaters are out. I'm like dealing time to drive slow. The sun's already going down. It's starting to get dark. And I'm driving along. And I'm trying to avoid people on the roads, which I'm driving super slow. It's only a mile from the main road to my house where a lot of people are walking. So I'm good. Get to my house, go turn my driveway, and there's like people who are up here getting candy from my house for my bride. She's out giving out candy, but they're like laid their bike and stuff, their skateboards like in the middle of my driveway, and the dad's standing there in the middle of my driveway. So I stop in the road, I turn on my right turn signal. I come down like 3 houses away. I have my right turn signal on, telling him, you know, hey, I'm going in here. And the guy just stands there looking and starts like waving me down the road, like, no, go ahead, my kids. I'm like, I live here, dude. Like, I'm just staring at stuff like when I turn signal on, I'm like, what the hell? I flash my lights and I'm like, realize I know I see you there. Like, you need to move because you're in my way. So they finally see stuff. Kid comes back down, moves the bike and the skateboard and stuff. And I wasn't being like mean. I'm just like, I understand you think like, well, okay, I'm just gonna drop my stuff in the driveway. But when somebody pulls up in front of the driveway with a turn signal on, facing that driveway, and there's no one else around anywhere, nobody in the road, nobody's blocking, nobody cars coming, maybe that makes sense after like, I don't know, 45 seconds or 50 seconds of this, you should realize like, hey dude, he's wanting to pull in his driveway. So they move their stuff, I back into the driveway, back way off to the side, so we have plenty of driveway, blah blah. Now I walk in. Here's the problem, I should have been done eating by now because 50 minutes went longer than it should have been. When I was supposed to put my heats up, I would have been done eating. That was the first people who showed up at my house to get candy. Wholly done eating. Instead, Karen's trying to eat. She's trying to hand out candy, trying to, you know, rush to eat her pizza, which I'm not a fan of. And all, by the way, they pulled it out of the oven too quick. The crust is uncooked. Like it is as raw as I'd ever want to eat a pizza, and it's almost not eatable. And by tomorrow, I'm sure it's going to be grosser than gross as it soaks through, because the next day the crust needs to be a little bit crustier because it's going to be grosser the next morning. So I'm like, what the hell? So we go, we both grab a slice of pizza and stuff, and it's one of those things. There are people who put the giant pile of pizza cheese in the middle, the mozzarella in the middle. I played pizza through high school. I made pizzas for my whole high school career. I know pizzas. They don't spread the cheese out to the crust. You get this like inch wide from where the crust is down to where the first bit of cheese is, all just sauce, because pizza always works its way to the middle. You gotta put everything out to the very outside edge, like even up on the crust. So as it works way in, you don't have these giant chunks, but it makes that middle look cool when you pull it apart and it all stretches. I don't want stretchy cheese. I want cheese up on my damn crust because crust tastes like shit anyway. I need to have cheese there to make this edible. So I basically go ahead, I just knocked my fire pit over, you dummies. But I basically eat the pizza. It's not bad tasting, but I knew right off jump the dough was a little doughy. It wasn't cooked all the way, which again was them rushing through because they completely screwed up. And nobody's saying sorry. Finally, after I called them out for not saying sorry, the woman who didn't know nothing said sorry, and one other like cook, whatever, like an older guy, kind of somebody a little bit more in charge. He said he was sorry for what happened, blah blah. But why didn't the first 4 waitresses I talked to in that window, none of them said sorry? So a sorry goes a long way. I'm out there forever. So we get there, I eat the pizza. It's like I said, it's not great. It'll probably be thrown away because we ate 1 slice each because we're just like, we wanted to eat. Usually eat 2 slices of pizza, but with the kids coming and whatnot and stuff, I wanted to get the dogs outside because all the trick-or-treaters were showing up and I didn't want to hear this barking in my house that we're hearing right now. So I try and eat a knot, one of the garlic knots, and oh my god, they had literally smothered this whole plastic container. Bobo, hush up. They had the butter had ran out of the container all over the bag. It was disgusting. I tried to pick it up. My hands are covered in butter. My stove's now covered in butter. And they were, oh my God, they were so gross. There was no garlic in this. It was just butter and Parmesan cheese on top. It was absolutely, we threw them away. I ate one. I was like, I can't eat this. Karen was eating, she's like, I love their knots, but these are gross. And again, undercooked, by the way, doughy. Threw the other 4 away. So they gave us 6. Threw the other 4 away. And again, you're telling me you're giving me knots to make up for my 51 minutes of waiting for your pizza, when the knots are what, $4, I guess? I don't know, $3. I don't know how much knots cost there. I didn't look them up. But so you're telling me my time is worth like $4 an hour, of standing outside in the wait, and then now having to rush through eat my pizza because of stupid, trick-or-treaters and stuff. I'm now getting back late. Should have been done. It's a pain in the butt. So I get done with that stuff. I bring the dogs outside. I have a cigar. She's in there handing out candy. She did all the bags, so we don't have to, kids weren't grabbing stuff out of the container and stuff. She's handing out candy, having a good time. I don't know how many she went through. I think she made up 20 bags worth, and I think she went through 15 or 18. I don't know how many she went through. It was a lot. Not a lot, but it's not that busy of a road here. So we had all kinds of stuff, from chips and Cracker Jacks and cheese crackers and peanut butter crackers, and then some couple suckers and some Starburst or some junk. I think there's some M&Ms. I don't know what she had. She put a whole bunch of stuff, basically stuff from my vending machine in there, except for the little tiny Starburst and suckers. She gave those. But I figure everybody gives out candy. Why don't I give us some chips? Why don't I give us some Cracker Jacks? Why don't I give us some stuff that nobody else is giving out? So we knocked out a whole bunch of those, which was really cool. Got a text from my neighbor going, "Hey man, where the hell's the candy?" And stuff. I'm like, dude, I got some extra. Come over and talk about. So she just came outside and kind of turned the light off, thinking that trick or treating's over. And I realized he'd actually been over here and got some from her and was bitching there was no candy. I said, dude, Starburst and suckers are candy. Shut up, it was free. Stop bitching. So we had a good laugh about that. So I had fun with the whole text message. I get along with the neighbor real well, so it worked out fine. But went ahead, hung out here, had a couple cigars. Karen came out and watched some Netflix with me, or at Prime Video, and then basically headed inside and called it a night. And it was one of those things, like the pizza thing. I didn't let it ruin my life, but it was just superbly ass annoying, and it sucks because I'm looking for a new pizza place, and the pizza place that I love, which is over on Beachside, Karen doesn't like the pizza I like, which is chicken bacon ranch, and it's delicious. It's oily and gross and disgusting. It's just everything a pizza should be, and she doesn't like it. So we try and small order from there and get the red sauce pizza, and their red sauce is just gross. Their pizzas down here in Florida, man, pizzas are not great. They're really not. I miss my pizza from home, but I'm trying to find a place. In this place, I thought maybe we got a chance. It's should be a true Italian, blah blah, and it's just gross. It really is. So I was unhappy with this one. We'll go back and try Alberto's again and see what happens and go from there. But again, like I said, now I've got a pizza that was rushed through in a mad fast hurry. It was not cooked all the way, and it was like, God damn it. Not only did I waste 2 hours of my life by the time I ordered it, picked it up, and got home and all this kind of stuff, I could have just thrown a damn pizza in the oven myself, or went and got Chinese, which is what we should have done to begin with. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.